I'm quite interested in the idea of a children's museum. Having children myself and being a teacher, I'm always attracted to the more interesting part of the museum, which is often for the children. And I like the idea of a fully interactive place which isn't just pressing buttons, which is the default mechanism for most museums. Children want to get dirty and get scruffy and climb into places and hide. And any opportunity that they do that in a museum and learn something, so much the better for me as a parent and as a teacher.
The idea of using technology to change the room that you're in, to make it an all-round experience, colour the walls, different atmosphere, different ambience, show things moving, would be fantastic. You know, you could really immerse them in topics that we don't get to see at school, because we're never at school at night if you're doing space.
I would love to see a space within the museum where children can make probably large-scale models, which will involve using a certain mechanism, when they will have to plan as a team and then create the product and in the end see it work. That would be absolutely something fantastic, because we don't necessarily have the space to do it in school.
Really nice to have exhibits or artworks that could be manipulated by the children that aren't then changed back at the end of the day, so that they have a temporary kind of change, because the next child could then come along and change it.
A lot of the time the most exciting things are outside of the curriculum. So the school I'm at, we like areas that are outside of the curriculum and exploring new things. So I think we'd start with the curriculum and then see where it took us, basically, because it's more interesting that way, isn't it?
Our school's just taken on the international primary curriculum, which moves away from teaching all the subjects separately, and it's very much topic-based. So across a 2-year cycle, each year group selects topics to cover all the key skills, but it means that all the work is centred around a topic, which is really nice. It's cross-curricular, obviously, so all your subjects are interlinked and children get a better sense of how things are integrated. Instead of having, this is your English lesson, this is your maths lesson, this is your science lesson, they can actually all be linked with your topic. And the idea that you could liaise with the museum and then build on one of those topics and then see an exhibition or experiment within one of those topics is really exciting.
Some outreach before a trip, so that you can then plan activities within school, but then take those ideas to the museum, but also then, having been to the museum and experienced all that that has to offer that's going to be different from you can offer in school, going back and then perhaps re-looking at some of the technologies and some of the ideas you've covered already, and then extending them.
It would be really nice to have exhibits where children really push the boundaries of their bodies and using their bodies in different ways. Things like mazes, huge frameworks to climb on, tunnels, things where they're going to encounter the unexpected.
If I was given an open space, I'd hopefully have a purpose behind what I wanted to do with it. And I think that sometimes we can be quite restricted as teachers, whereas the children have much wider imaginations than us. And I think that they would lead us. It's much more interesting to find out what the children would initiate rather than the teacher, because we're much more narrow-minded and they're much more broad-minded than we are.
The children that I teach have, some of them have autism, so when they're met with a large group of people, that would make them not only not be able to access what was going on, but possibly stop the rest of the public from accessing it, so we wouldn't be able to. So allowing for those with special needs to maybe book in a quieter time for them to come, that would be very good.
I think it would be a wonderful resource for hospital children to be able to come those children can't access schools because they're too unwell, but they could come individually in small groups or in small groups to see the museum.
It'll be a good opportunity to take my children out to something like that and experience things that they don't normally experience. Most of them don't leave the council estate where they're from, so we always enjoy going on trips and things.
The whole idea of it sounds absolutely perfect and certainly buys into what Boris is saying at the moment of creating London into being an educational thing. So I thought, finger on the pulse moment for you guys.
If I could be a part of this, I'd be so excited. It would just be really exciting to see the end process. The kids saw the Olympics, they saw how that changed in our local area, and then actually seeing it finished is really exciting. And then they saw it on TV and it was made real, and I think something that can be made real, it goes so much farther.